and record.
All right, what's up, Void Jumpers? Fuck yeah. Finale. Welcome, everybody. Good evening. This is the final episode of Void Jumpers Sand and Flame. I am your diviner and host, Jesse Lee Keeter, and I'm very excited to conclude this story with you tonight. It has been an absolute blast, and I cannot wait to see what happens. I do not have an ending in mind. We are going to create it for you together. I think the only thing I gotta say before we start, there'll be plenty of thank yous and I love yous at the end of the show. We're gonna save that shit for later. But the rule set we'll be using is an incredibly elegant game designed by Jeremy Strandberg. It's called Homebrew World. We're gonna drop a link for you in the chat. We've been using it this entire time, and I continue to fall in love with it. We are very lucky that this game is available for free online, and it does everything we need it to. If you just want to do a one-shot or something easy to play with your friends, or you want an introduction to tabletop RPGs, I cannot recommend this game enough. It is incredible. It's based on a game called Dungeon World, which in turn is based on Powered by the Apocalypse. All of these games based on Powered by the Apocalypse are extremely accommodating. Check this one out. Click that link. You'll love it. Okay, that's it. Let's bring in the cast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our final episode. As you can see, Paladin is not with us tonight. What does our overlay look like? Oh, dark and scary. Sometimes characters make bold choices, and they have beautiful exits that happen in a moment, and the rest of us just have to soldier on until the end of this story without them. Paladin is the shit. Had a great time playing with them. And I look forward to playing with them again in the future. But it's just us tonight, fuckers. Welcome to the end.
Literally.
Oh, dear.
Well, dark end.
I'm only slightly terrified. Who else is going to die?
Okay. Are we ready? You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to Void Jumpers, Sand and Flame. Last week, our heroes set out for the Black Dune Cemetery. There was a moment of panic when a shadow figure rushed the party, and Dill launched magical tombstone missiles at an innocent old gravedigger. After trying to contact the gravedigger's spirit, Waz was possessed and almost lost the use of his body permanently to that cantankerous old spirit, but did in fact manage to break free. The party then ascended to the royal tombs, passed through a cloud of ghosts, and sent Vico inside a nondescript one of those tombs. Prior to this moment, Cleo made a deal with the skull-faced necromancer so that she might return to her life after being killed by the tentacle monster, only if she agreed to prevent Vico from entering the empty grave with his shield. She decided not to follow through, and when Vico entered, she dropped dead. We'll get to that. Vico entered the tomb and confronted the skull-faced necromancer. It was revealed that Vico's entire body was tattooed with the names of people lost to the fall of his home city. And after declining to betray his ideals in exchange for the return of his loved ones' souls, Vico dealt a mighty, smiting blow to the necromancer, who exploded. The last thing the party saw before Cleo dropped dead, and we will get to that, was the royal tomb exploding in a fountain of blood. Let's begin. Cleo, you're dead?
Yep.
We will get to that. Dill, Waz.
Yeah.
The tomb before you vaporizes. There is a thunderous clap of magic, and then a geyser of blood erupts out of the ground. The graveyard is flooded with it. Tombs and sarcophagi are displacing and then crumbling, adding to what is quickly becoming a bloody mudslide. You are at the top of a large hill surrounded by ghosts who are starting to scream and scatter, whirling around above you like an angry flock of birds. There's also the cast iron fence, the gate of which leads out into the rest of the cemetery, is open. What do you do?
Waz?
Yeah.
Blood is raining down.
Jesus, do you see this? What the hell is going on?
I could almost see it if it wasn't all in my goddamn eyes.
Where's Snook?
I don't know.
She is lying next to you, crumpled on the ground.
Oh,
She's right there.
damn it. We got to get her and we got to get out of here. Do you see any exits?
Is there a door from like a floatable wooden door?
Oh, you mean
Nearby?
Titanic style?
Yes, but more meet surf ninjas.
Discern realities.
What is? Oh, that's wisdom, right?
Wisdom.
That's a 4.
Okay. You managed to find half of a single splintered tomb door. You can see that the outsides are engraved metal, but inside is wood. It does not look large enough to hold both of you and Cleo. Probably just 2 bodies would fit on it.
Deal. Get that door.
Okay.
You and Cleo are getting down the hill.
Waz, I'm not leaving without you.
I'll be right behind you.
I'm like dragging her over and like loading her up,
Okay.
all the while yelling at him. You're coming with us. Just skitter behind us. Just hold on to the back. Get on your cape. You can use it as a slide.
I try to hold the back with one hand while holding my staff up and preparing a magic missile at these angry ghosts.
Okay. As you two are shouting at each other, the blood is starting to get in your mouth and your eyes, and it's immediately apparent that this is not some kind of illusion. It is a lot of human blood. You assume human.
Okay.
Bill, you do. As you start to slide Cleo's body onto this wooden door, the door's resting firmly on the ground. But the longer that you two stand there and the longer that it takes for you to get her up there, the blood level is rising. It's now up to your knees. The door is floating unsteadily, and you've got Cleo on it, and you climb on. As you are holding it steady, wading through about thigh-deep blood, it's rapidly climbing, just erupting out of the crater where the tomb was. And you have your staff. The ghosts are swirling overhead, diving at you, but so far nobody's made an attack. Both of you need to make, I feel like this is a strength check.
What is that? What am I doing again for strength?
2d6, add
Okay.
strength.
Oh.
I get a 9.
I've got 11.
Okay. The blood level up top has reached a critical mass and is starting to cascade down the hill, through the fence and down into the cemetery, and you can feel it pulling against you. Dill, you are able to stick your staff down and hold the door steady. Waz is starting to slip and goes under, but is able to pull himself back up. He is coughing up blood. Waz, make a Constitution save.
That's still 2d plus 6, or 2d6 rather.
Yes.
And Constitution is negative, and that's a 5.
Okay. You cannot
Drown from blood.
breathe. Blood is starting to clog your throat, and you are slipping away down the hill. Dill, you watch as the current picks up and kind of funnels down into the path that you walked here, and you watch as Waz gets sucked under and pulled through the gate, sliding down into the cemetery. Waz, you're going to take a little damage.
Sure.
That is a 5 bludgeoning damage, as you are now being like whitewater rapids, thrown up and down and bouncing off of tombstones, and there are sarcophagus sliding into the current and smashing into you as you down and bottom out at the bottom of the hill. You get up and see a wall of blood rushing down this mountain now. And Dill, your little raft starts sliding down.
Are we behind Waz?
Waz is now at the bottom looking at this tidal wave, and you are surf ninja styling down the mountain.
Dang it. All right. Well, I'm hanging on tight to Cleo and slapping her face as we're going down, trying to get her to wake back up.
Okay. You're going to want to roll dexterity to see how well you can pilot this door.
Can I navigate with my staff? Use it as like a rudder?
Yeah.
Is that 2d6?
Mm-hmm.
And then is it with dexterity?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 10. Ooh, 11 again.
Oh, yeah. You, Waz, watch her catch the wake and start to accelerate ahead of this tidal wave. And then you feel something on your ankle, Waz. A tight grip.
I look down.
There is the hand of a skeleton grabbing you. A second one shoots through the dirt and starts to pull itself out of the mud. Around you, Dill, arms and skulls are starting to push through the water as each one of these graves is starting to animate.
Am I near Waz now?
Yeah, you have now slid to a stop. You rolled an 11, so you expertly slide in. You are there on the door. You crush the hand that is grabbing Waz's, but 2 more spring out to replace it. And there are now 3 skeleton warriors who have removed themselves from the ground, reached back in, and pulled swords out of the mud and are advancing on you. What do you do, Waz?
I can't swat with my dagger and then do a magic missile, right? I could probably just do magic missile.
You can do one or the other.
Okay. I will widen my stance so that they can at least, hopefully these arms that might still have me around the cankles and everything don't knock me over.
Okay.
I would love to aim, if it's 2 missiles, I would still like to try to focus on the middle of the 3 and fire off 2 magic missiles.
You got it. Now, when you raise your staff, you can feel the ocean of power around you. Would you like to tap into blood magic?
Well, I mean, I'm surrounded by blood. Like, this
You
must
are
be an
covered in
amazing
it. You are
conduit.
still coughing it out.
Yes.
Okay, you are going to roll to use magic. Or, sorry, roll to cast a spell with advantage.
So that is 3d6?
Yeah, 3d6, get rid of the lowest.
Let's see, a 6 and a 3, so 9.
Okay, you are going to take damage.
But was that also intelligence?
Yes.
Oh, so it's an 11.
Oh, then you do not take any damage at all. Dill, you watch Waz kick away from these hands and wade forward, raise the staff into the air, and all of the blood around you starts to vibrate. And then, if you've seen anybody ever try to drink Tang in 0G, bubbles start peeling off of the top and sucking into his staff, and he releases this huge blast of magic missile. Instead of rolling d4s, you're going to roll 2d8s, Waz.
$11.
And the skeleton in the middle explodes into a shower of bones that flip in the blood. And after the spell is cast, you see all of the blood rain back down. It is still pouring down the mountain, but that initial tidal wave has now crashed at your feet, and you are just in waist-deep blood, and you barely keep your footing as that first rush comes down. It is now pouring at a more even rate down the hill. Dill, there's still 2 skeletons. What would you like to do?
I want to use my staff as a holy weapon to cast a spell and pulverize them.
That sounds awesome. You're going to roll to cast a spell, so 2d6 plus wisdom.
Okay. Yeah. 7.
Okay.
Maybe not pulverized today.
No, so it just has a couple strange things. Moving forward, this weapon will just be a holy weapon for this fight
Okay.
until you decide it's not or you drop it. But if you try to cast any additional spells, you will be at disadvantage. So you're cool now, but you do need to choose one thing from your list under cast a spell
Okay.
as a complication.
Okay. Oh, dang it. I think I'll just draw unwanted attention.
Okay. You raise your staff into the air and it glows. Unlike the magic we saw Vico use, which was a pure radiant light, your staff has kind of a green hue, and then ferns and vines and budding flowers hop out of it, and it is now covered in thorns and vines and whips. And you swing at one of these skeletons. You get to roll your damage with advantage because you are using a holy weapon. So roll 2d6 and tell me the higher one.
Okay. The higher one is 5.
Okay. Let me check one thing and see if we get a plus. Do you have a strength modifier?
Oh wait, what is the strength modifier?
Actually, it doesn't matter. I apologize for the false alarm. Yeah, so you said you rolled a 5?
Yes.
You smash the skeleton's rib cage in, but before they crumble, they lash out at you with their sword and slash you for 3 damage. But in doing so, they come apart and their sword flips away into the blood, and you have just smashed through this skeleton.
All right.
Waz, there's one more of these skeletons left. What do you do?
I think I'm going to aim another magic missile at this one.
Blood
And
magic
maybe-
or no?
This time I'm not going to.
Okay. You
But-
resist the urge as you feel this monstrous battery of power around you, but you
Yeah.
block it out and cast.
Yeah. If it's approaching me, I do want to say Boner and then fire.
His jaw rattles and says, "Much like the omniscient deity which controls me, I too hate puns." Roll to cast your spell.
+2, that's a 9.
Okay. You're gonna just need to choose one of those complications, but you are going to deal your damage.
I also had a donation from Mark.
Oh.
That's 1d4 for damage, right?
2 for magic missile.
Oh, copy. I will draw unwanted attention.
Okay.
Actually, I'll put myself in a spot.
Okay. Deal your damage. 2d4.
That is, yep, that's a 4 and a 2, so a 6.
Okay. The magic missiles spin off and knock the creature's skull flying. It wobbles forward and tries to slash you, but pitches into the blood. We got a donation from Merc Worky. Bloody hell, y'all seem to be in grave danger. Merc, I hate puns. There are too many skeletons around, and they have a bone to pick with you. Horrible. If you tell them a joke, make sure it's a real rib tickler. Horrible, Merc, but thank you so much. That is for a trip hazard. My next roll will be getting a -1. You are going to put yourself in a spot there, Waz. Dill, you watch Waz cast a much smaller blast at these skeletons. This, or the final skeleton. This time, there is no blood being consumed by the staff. And he turns and smiles when you see another jet of blood erupt out of the top of the graveyard and start to cascade down the hill, creating another wave. I'm going to roll to see if it's going to hit you, Waz, and I'm going to give myself a trip hazard. Okay, well, I got a 9. So I'm going to -1. That makes it an 8, which is just a partial success. Waz, please make a dexterity saving throw. Dill, you as well. Cleo, I'd have you make one, but you're done.
Jesse, we all know how much you love to just kill me and silence me. I know.
What am I rolling,
Jeez.
Jesse?
You're
Sorry.
just rolling 2d6 plus dexterity.
Plus dexterity. Okay. So I have a 6 and a 5 and a 1. Ooh, 11? 11.
11.
So
What
12.
about you there, Waz?
That's a 12 for me.
I can't hear you.
It's 3d6 and you take one away?
You're not at disadvantage. You're just regular. You're rolling straight.
Okay. I got a 3.
You. That's fitting because you put yourself in a spot. Dill, You grab Cleo and hold tight to the door, but you do not have time to warn Waz as the wave crashes down, again sending you surf ninja style farther out of the cemetery. When you look up, Waz is no longer standing there. And Waz, you take 2 bludgeoning damage as you are pushed under. Still, you're clinging to this door, desperately looking for your friend and hanging on to Cleo. Cleo.
Yes.
As mentioned previously several times, you are dead. You find yourself in that endless plane of darkness. You've been here before. Unlike your last visit, however, you find that the cemetery, which usually resides behind the creepy black fence, well, that is in shambles. There is a massive crater there. It is smoking. Debris and tombstones are everywhere. The gate to the cemetery has been blown open, and a constant stream of ghosts is flooding out. They are wraith-like and howling as they scream past you. What would you like to do?
Am I a high five? Am I also a ghost?
You look down. Roll discern realities.
A 9.
You are not a ghost. Would you like to know anything else about this place? You may ask me one question.
It's the. Oh, this isn't my question, but you established this was the same place that I met Death. It just, the gates open and the ghosts are all flying everywhere.
And there's a huge crater in the cemetery that was not there before. And it's smoking, and the debris around you makes it look like something exploded.
Okay. So maybe Vico did something that did this. There's nobody I can make a pact with to get out. I wanna ask a ghost how do I get the F out of here.
You put your hand up for that high five, and they start to peel around you. They are cutting it extremely close. You can feel a frigid breeze passing by your head as there's just this rush of ghosts, but they seem to be deliberately avoiding you as they blow past.
And they're going which way? Away from the gate?
They are just leaving the gate.
Like they've all been let out?
Like they've all been let out.
Well, I'm gonna follow them.
Okay, you turn around and start running to follow these ghosts. Okay. You get about 50 feet. Roll discern realities again.
8.
And you cannot see through these ghosts, but you feel like you've been sprinting for at least 30 seconds to a minute.
Okay.
And you turn around and duck down to see underneath them and look back, and you're not positive, but it doesn't look like you've moved any farther away from the cemetery. And then I need you to make a dexterity check.
This isn't an advantage, is it?
No.
5.
One of the ghosts drops down out of this tunnel of them and hits you full in the face, and you feel it pull through your head.
What?
And then whip out. Your brain, you have an immediate brain freeze. And then another starts just whipping through your head, and you are flung back into your consciousness, and you are confronted with what looks to be slow-moving faces flying past you, far more detailed than the ghosts that you had seen. As they move past, you get the sense that you will be able to ask each one of them a single question. The first one is flying by.
How do I get out of here?
Free, 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 we're free, free. And then it's gone. The next one is flying by.
Where's the death guy with the skull and the missing hand? I did that.
The gatekeeper is gone. The gatekeeper is gone. And it's flying past. And this final ghost is passing you.
What caused that crater?
The brightest light we've ever seen.
Okay. I
and
want to
then
go.
you are back as the ghosts stop passing through you and are now flooding past.
I want to go look at the crater and see if Bako's there.
Okay, how are you getting there? The ghosts are blowing out of this place, but they don't seem to be right on the ground. There's like 2-3 feet as they are moving in this floating tunnel.
Well, I'm gonna army crawl it.
Okay, you start crawling underneath these ghosts. Your back is freezing as these wind tunnels flying over you, but you do make it into the cemetery.
Okay.
The crater's not far from the gate.
Okay.
You can see once you actually get to the cemetery that this tunnel of ghosts is being fed from thousands of different graves, and they're all pulling out of the ground like fingers and then meeting at the gate and flying out. So once you're in the cemetery, you can stand up, and as long as you're careful, you can move between these feeding tubes of ghosts.
Okay.
And you get to the edge of the crater. Inside, there is particles in the air.
Okay.
As the smoke is pooling up, there are glittering, radiant sparkles peeling off of the ground and joining it. And laying in the bottom of this crater, which is probably 30 feet across, 15 feet deep, almost completely spherical, like a clean cut, is an older man with graying red hair, red robes with gold trim, and a large staff that has been broken in half laying on the ground next to him.
Crawl over. Horace?
You slide down into the thing. No response at first.
Oh, I'm gonna check for a pulse.
Roll me a wisdom check.
8.
Okay. It takes you a second. You know, you push in and you're like, wait, I actually never really done this before. So you're moving your finger around, kind of massaging the neck. You do not find a pulse. And yet, Horace and starts to smack you away.
Oh, hi. It's okay. It's me, Cleo Snook. You hired me to protect your daughter?
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Where am I?
I don't know. I think it's like purgatory or something. I've been here twice. This is my second time.
Purgatory.
You know, like the holding, I don't know what you would call it in your religion. It's like where you go between death and the afterlife, the in between.
Oh, the Black Gate.
Yeah. So the necromancer guy, this was here the first time and I made a deal with him and I got out, but he's not here now. So I don't know how to get out of here.
He's been holding me prisoner.
Oh, he's gone. Haven't you seen the ghosts? They've been like, they hightailed
Starts
it.
to climb out of the crater, and he grabs his staff, and it's broken in half, and he just is carrying it. And he climbs out of the crater, kind of using it as like little hiking poles.
Yeah.
And when you guys get to the top, he spends a second just looking out at the cemetery with all of these ghosts escaping. They seem to be funneling out and then just traveling out into darkness. And they just go and go and go until you cannot see where they're headed. But it looks... There's no horizon. There's no opening. There's nothing. They are just flying out of this graveyard. And he says, holy shit. Well, this looks a lot worse than the last time I saw it.
I know. Maybe they're heading to their afterlife. Maybe we shouldn't follow them. I didn't really think about that.
Yeah, I guess not. I don't know. The door that we came through to get here, and he's starting to look around. I think this was it, and I think it got exploded.
Well, that's okay. You have magic. You can magic us out of here.
He holds up his broken staff and says, I could try.
I reach into my pocket and I pull out one last piece of bubble gum. And I'm like, we could try to put it together with this.
Okay. He
Put it in my
holds
mouth
it
and I
up.
chew it. Okay.
You stick it there, and he says a few words, some arcane words from a language you don't really understand, and then he slowly presses it together. And as he does, you can see the gum expanding to fill all of the broken pieces and tie it together. And he lets go, and it starts to bend. And he holds it and says, "It might work. I don't know." And he says, "We've got very limited communication to the other side because we're not quite into the afterlife yet. Is there anyone nearby who you think you might be able to call?"
Well, yes, I've got my two friends, Dill and Waz. Hopefully they're with my body. Dill
Okay,
wouldn't leave me. Dill would definitely be with my body.
great. I'm going to cast a spell. You will need to help me anchor it. And you will need to be very careful when we're using it. I'm weak. I might not have much left in me. This might be our only chance.
Okay, but I have no magic. Like, negative.
That's okay.
Okay.
Okay. He closes his eyes. And the gem at the top of his staff starts to glow. You need to roll I feel like it's just wisdom. It's that like earthy, hippy dippy magic that Dill does.
Okay. 10.
That's great. And he rolled an 8. With your success, that'll bump it up to a success. Okay, perfect. So he lowers the staff to you as though he's holding a microphone out for you. And he says, "Speak simply and clearly, and I will maintain the spell for as long as I can."
Do you have time for questions, or am I just getting one message out?
You'll feel it out.
Okay.
He holds the staff up to you.
Dill, Fern, it's Cleo, Snook. I'm stuck in the in-between with Horace. Get us out of here.
Dill, Cleo's body next to you is not moving. Her eyes are not open, but her mouth starts moving, and you hear this voice start coming out of this dead body.
Leo?
Dill, you're going to need to roll, use magic, which, if I'm not mistaken, you still have to get one more full success. So you're rolling it at disadvantage to
Okay.
reply to this message.
So that's 3d6.
And get rid of the best one.
The best one? Okay. So I've got a 5 and 2 4s.
Oh, so you're ditching the 5. You got 2 8s. And what's your wisdom modifier?
2.
So that's a full success. You get to ditch that penalty. You are now able to use magic regularly. You focus everything you got, Dill, on this one chance. And you just get this deep sense that you finally understand what it means to ask politely to magic and have your request heard.
Cleo, I don't know where you went, girl, but I can hear you and your mouth is moving, and I'm trying really hard not to be freaked out right now. But like, where did you go? Are you in the dark place again?
Yes, I'm in the dark place. The skull guy isn't here. I have no way to get out. We need help. SOS.
Okay, girl, I hear you. I hear you, SOS. I am on it. I gotta figure this out. Okay, I need Waz. He's back there in the blood. I gotta go dig him out.
He
Can
at
you
that
use the
moment
blood
just
magic?
explodes out of the blood next to the raft, clinging to it, and it shakes. But Waz is drenched, coughing up blood. It's in his eyes and his nose and his ears and his mouth. And he's Leonardo DiCaprioing your door.
Waz. Hey.
Hi. I
You
won't
just
let go.
don't you let go. Okay, so Cleo, she just kind of like spoke from the other side. She said she's in the in between, kind of the place where we went. But my guess is that necromancer guy, he's done. He's poof. So we got to figure out how to get her back.
I don't even know if I. Maybe we need to bring her body back to the palace and get the book. I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
Or I can just try something.
Why don't we try to combine our powers again? And I don't agree with this, but I think you're going to have to use blood magic. Waz, I swear this is the last time, possibly the second to last time I will ever ask you to do this.
I offer one hand up through the bloody water to take hers and let our powers combine.
The summoner who's still holding the staff up to you, Cleo, says, "What did they say?"
They're working on it. I think they're going to get us out of here. I told them where we were. They're familiar with it. They've been here before. I told them that the gatekeeper guy was gone. So I think they're going to use some magic to get us out, hopefully. Waz, our traveling companion, has blood magic. It usually goes really
God.
bad, but I'm thinking maybe this time it will work.
Okay, it's an incredibly dangerous act and also illegal most places and horribly, horribly disgusting.
I know, but we don't have a whole lot of options here.
You're right. Now look, there was a word I think Merc told me when I started to lose my accent. It's motorist. Motorist. Look, motorist. Look. Where are they?
They are in the royal tomb area. That's where we were.
At the cemetery.
Yeah.
There's a connection between this place and that one. It's where the strongest gate to cross through is. It's why we've been burying our royals there for centuries.
Oh.
If they manage to find a landmark, something that these two places share, that might be where they want to do it.
Like the gate?
The gate might work. Is there anything here that's also there?
There's what, a gate? All I've seen is a gate, and there's a pillar. Is there pillars? Tomb? What?
There's a both of you. As you can hear, you two in the real world, you can hear Cleo's mouth doing both of these voices. Cleo, roll discern realities, and the two of you, one of you roll discern realities with advantage.
8.
All right, Andy, you roll.
That's intelligence.
That one's gonna be wisdom.
Ooh, that's a 7.
Okay. The gate in both of these places looks damaged. Cleo, where you are, it seems to have been blown off of its hinges. And then Waz and Dill, where you are, the gate was picked by you. And after the explosion, there was a bit of debris that hit it, and it now looks bent and disfigured. There is, as you're standing on the edge of the crater, Cleo, you are seeing a pillar of smoke rising out of it, and Waz and Dill, you are seeing the crater at the top of the hill, and a geyser of blood is coming out of it.
We need something that connects both worlds. I've got a gate that's blown apart and a crater that's smoking and sparkles.
Okay, Cleo, if you can hear me over here, our gate is destroyed. It's gone, but the crater, there's just blood spewing from it. Waz, I think we gotta get up there.
Can we use this raft and paddle with our staffs on each side?
Yeah, I think it's going to be more of a like gondola oar situation where you're digging
Pushing,
them in
okay.
and pulling yourself up the hill against the current. Let's get a strength roll from both of you. As you're swimming alongside, using your staff to help, as Dill is on there with Cleo's body pulling up.
I got an 8.
I got a 6.
Okay. You will be able to get to the top. There are skeletons that are trying to climb out and get you, but the current's too rough and they are getting pulled down and smashed against gravestones and pulled down. However, the time it takes you to get to the top, the summoner's staff starts to overheat Cleo, and the gum melts and the staff folds in, breaking his concentration, and he lets the spell go. So this line of communication that the two of you had is now broken, and you're gonna have to wing this thing without being able to talk to him. And he looks very gaunt, pale, sweaty, tired, Cleo, and he says, "I'm sorry, but if you trust your friends, maybe they'll be able to save us. I suggest we go down into the crater."
Yeah, that sounds good. You really should lie down. Take
When
a
I'm
rest.
dead, there'll be plenty of time to sleep. And he slides down that really smooth bowl into the bottom of the crater. You can see that there's just a crack there that's pouring out this smoke. It's not coming from a fire. It seems to be seeping up out of the ground. When you get down there, you can see bits and pieces of bandages and armor that are all glowing with radiant light, and the sparkles seem to be coming off of that. And there's one thing that looks out of place. It's the skeletal metal hand that you saw on the necromancer, and it is laying there curled.
Does it look valuable?
Roll a wisdom for a perception here.
7.
Yeah, the bones are just human bones, but the metal looks a little alien to you, and you have an eye for jewelry. Does not look like something you've ever seen before. And the way that it is all connected in order to make a fully articulated hand, it is meticulously created. So, I mean, yeah, potentially if you could find somebody who likes to buy metal skeleton hands.
Okay, I'll pocket it, and then I would like to take out my coin.
Okay.
And Horace, have you ever seen this coin before?
Describe what it looks like for us.
Oh shit! What did I say? It's a coin that has two fish hooks. Was that what it was? That are facing back to back?
I think so.
I think it is. It just comes down like this.
Okay. We're gonna just like have a quick flashback here of when you got that coin.
Okay.
will you just paint us a little scene?
Yeah.
As you hold it up, you see a twinkle in Horace's eyes, and you are transported to a memory of when you received this coin.
Yeah. So I'm 12, and I'm with the traveling, not circus, but carnival. That sort of I joined up with when I was 5 after my parents died. And it's right before a big performance. They're finally letting me do some of the aerial work, and I've never been allowed to do it before, and I'm really excited, but I'm also incredibly nervous. And the woman, Virginia, that took me in, notices that I'm nervous, and she comes up and she talks to me a little bit, and we talk about like why I'm nervous, and I confide that I wished my parents were here, and I dream about them in the audience every time we do a performance, thinking that they're there watching me. And that's when she gives me this coin and said it belonged to my parents.
Horace takes the coin and turns it over and says, I have only seen a couple of these. My father told me a story about his father, and something like this would have been awarded to someone who made an impression on a summoner. Small batch was only ever minted, and this, showing this, would get you food and drink and a warm bed at any inn under our reign. We don't use them anymore. It's an old, old tradition. But you get me out of here, you'll never have to worry about having a plate of food or a mug of ale again. And he hands it back and says, if your parents were in possession of something like that, they must have made an impression on the summoner.
Shoot, I wish I would have known that a long time ago. That would have saved me a lot of trouble.
What do you mean?
Hmm?
What do you mean?
Well, I could have used it to get food instead of all the other ways I've gotten food.
What kind of ways?
You know, liberating it.
We cut to Waz and Dill, who have just after what seems like an hour managed to pull their way to the top of the hill. As you get there, the blood flowing down is only about knee deep, and you can safely step off of this. But there is quite a fountain coming up out of the crater. How would you two like to go about this?
I would like to look for Horace's body, his physical body,
Okay, roll discern realities.
because I have a potentially terrible idea. Is that wisdom?
Yes.
That's a 5.
You spend a little bit of time, and you are unable to find it. There isn't much up here. There are a couple bodies. Some of them look like empty grave necromancers, you know, a lower tier. You can see that they have skull painted faces and tattered robes, and they must have been damaged or killed during the explosion. There's skeletons. There's a couple like mummy wrapped bodies that have been let loose from these old tombs. All of the skeletons that were crawling up out of the ground, none seemed to have been crawling up out of this royal tomb area, but there's no body of Horus.
Dill, where would it... To get them back out, we have to get them from there back into their bodies. But we only have Cleo here.
Okay. Do you see any other tombs still standing around here? Where would his body be?
I wipe the blood off my eyes somewhere. Yeah. I like start wringing out my robes.
Uh-huh. There's a lot of blood. And it's still kind of sprinkling around you. So you are just like, you know, doing that thing when you're in the rain, wiping it off of you, even though the rain is still just coming down. And you're...
Can I use magic to like GPS him?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You just had a big moment where you clicked with this. So yeah, you can roll plus wisdom to scry for Horace's body. He is someone that you've met before and had a conversation with, and you can clearly hold his image in your mind's eye.
So that's an 8.
Okay. You close your eyes and visualize yourself sending a radar pulse of magic out into the cemetery. And it immediately ping, 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 ping from all around you as all of these bodies and spirits and all of this crazy shit is surrounding you. But you get no read on Horus, and you shoot out another burst, this time focusing past the limits of this place that you're in. And you do feel Horus's body very near to where you are. And when you open your eyes and look at that exact spot, it's about halfway down into the crater. There is no body there. And you get the impression that wherever he is, he might not have left his body to get there.
Waz,
Yeah.
this is gonna sound a little weird, but I think we just need to trust that whatever we do, he's gonna come back. Because I don't think that we can physically like get him. Dang it. I'm like laying out Cleo, making sure she's okay, getting all the blood off of her. And I'm like scooching us over so we're closer to Waz. Getting out some herbs, sprinkling them on her.
What I'm thinking about doing is contacting Cleo's spirit. And if I make that connection, if she manifests before me, I could use the blood magic to force that spirit back into her body. That's all I can think of. What do you think?
Waz, just like everything else you've done, I think you're brilliant. So I got you. Pinky, high five.
When your pinkies touch, there's a crackle of magical energy as both of you are starting to gear up for whatever it is you're about to do. Waz, you are going to try and use magic. You will not be rolling at disadvantage, but that is because Dill is helping you. So
Okay.
you're going to just roll as if you were casting a spell, so 2d6 plus your intelligence modifier, and then I'm going to need you to describe to us, paint us the scene of how you go about casting this spell.
All right. I rolled a 9.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is hold out my staff with one hand while our pinkies touch with the other. And I'm going to start swirling it above me so that this kind of almost vortex of kind of blue crackly energy starts.
Mhm.
And then suddenly I'm going to drop it down into this kind of, it's going to all form into this ball. And then I'm going to shoot it back up. So kind of it almost cascades around us. And hopefully once it all dissipates, there will be this spirit of Cleo before us.
The partial success is going to manifest on Cleo's end of the spell.
Mm-hmm.
Cleo, you feel yourself in this conversation you're not really trying to have with the summoner about how it is you've been putting food on your table and why you've been doing this for so many years. When you start to answer and find that you can't catch your breath, and then you are yanked off of your feet and start to slide away from Horus towards the crack in the crater. Roll a dexterity check, please.
6.
You reach out to catch yourself and start to slide away. He jumps forward and he rolls a 6 and a 4. And grabs your ankles and starts sliding with you, leaving his staff behind. The two of you are pulled down towards the smoke. And then, by a method you cannot quite understand, you are then sucked through that crack into the smoke itself. Whereas when your dome of magic dissipates and you open your eyes, you see the geyser of blood in the crater before you sputter, and stop. And then shoot. And the summoner goes flying into the air. And what looks like the figure of Cleo following, or actually leading, you see something fall and drop into the blood, but you don't have time to see what it is before Cleo's spirit rips away from the summoner and smashes into her body, and she is back. The summoner splashes down into the blood and has trouble getting to his feet. What do you do?
I think I'll dive. Is he in the blood? The summoner, did he land in the blood?
Yeah, he just is, and he's having trouble getting out.
Okay, well, I can't use the board. I'm just gonna swim. I'm gonna go and jump and grab his arms and and pull him back. Sorry, my son's telling me to kill him, but I'm not gonna kill the summoner. I'm gonna swim with one arm back to like grab Waz's hand that's trying to help us.
All right, give me a strength check.
Okay. So 2 3s, and so that's 7.
Okay. Dill dives off the board and gets to the summoner who is fighting, and they both manage to start swimming back towards the door as he's coughing and sputtering out blood. Waz, Cleo is there on the board before you. She is back.
I rest one hand on her shoulder so she doesn't wiggle too much and fall off, and I use my other hand with the blood-soaked sleeve to try to dab any of the other blood that's on her, but it just does not help. But I look down endearingly and say, welcome back.
Thanks. I would like to not die anymore for a little while. That would be nice.
I'll get to work on that.
Good job with the blood magic.
I try.
And then I take out the skeleton hand and I hand it to him, and I'm like, you might be able to use this in your
It's
research.
not in your pocket.
I thought it was.
No.
Did it fall out?
Does she give me
The
the
object
liver?
that was falling into the blood that you didn't have time to see what it was
Oh no.
starts to bubble where there was a geyser before, and you see a large skull start to form as other smaller skulls are being pulled along the water and creating a much, much, much bigger one, a collage of skulls out of this. And then bones start to come up the blood into this, and the blood itself starts to form tendons as a monstrous skeleton starts to climb up out of the blood and stand up. And they hold their hand out, and you can see that their fingers are capped in claws, except for their middle finger, which they extend, and the metal skeletal hand is on the top of it. And they say, well, some of you went back on your word. And that's where we're going to take a break.
Dang it.
We are back. We had a donation come through right at the tail end there that I didn't grab yet. It's from Merc Worky with a hey listen. High int, low whiz is definitely coming around to bite in the bum. Also, I could watch out for the skeleton hand. If you're really unlucky, it'll start moving, grabbing. Very unfortunate if you need to concentrate. Thank you, Merc. As always, we are forever in your debt. Okay, y'all. Giant bone and blood monster raises out. And though it is difficult to get a direct comparison, the bone assortment very much resembles the skull painted necromancer's face, as this, we'll say, 20-foot tall giant golem of blood and bone rises up and flips you off. And then you can see the beast pulling back and starting to pull globules of blood up so that they raise, much in the same way that Waz did earlier when he was casting blood magic, and start to cast this spell with very slow, large movements. Cleo, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna throw some of my throwing knives right at that darn hand and try to get it off again.
Sounds good.
The one
That's
that was flipping me off.
That one's going to be volley. So roll plus dex.
Okay. What was the hey listen? Was that a +1 for somebody?
You can have advantage. Somebody can have advantage. If you want to use it now, go for it, or you can
No.
save.
I'll wait.
Okay.
12.
That is a full success. You have a clear shot. Deal your damage. Roll your dice.
D8, right? Wait, how many D8?
I believe for you it is a D8.
Just 1 D8.
You are the DPS of the group.
3.
Cleo produces a fan of throwing knives and they thunk on the creature's hand as he's weaving this spell. It doesn't seem to do much, though it does deal 3 full damage. And he continues to go until he then pushes both hands out, and the globules of blood separate into what, if they were much smaller, regular blood size, would probably be blood vessels, and those lengthen into long barbs, which then crystallize. And he's going to do a wall of spears. But like you all, when he casts, he's going to need to roll for it. That is a 12, 10 plus 2. So he will not be taking blood magic damage. And a wall of spears flies out. Everybody, roll dex. I only need to know if you get a partial success or a fail. Full success,
Partial.
you dodge.
I think I got to fail.
Oh, I definitely got to fail. Wait, what's a 4?
That is a fucking fail.
Okay. I mean, I could have gotten a 2.
I got 4 as well.
Okay. Cleo, you take half damage of 3. Waz and Dill, you take full damage of 6.
Are you dead?
Yes.
You're dead?
Yeah.
Okay. Waz, it is your turn. I need you to roll Dying Breath.
Ooh, what's that?
That is... Sorry, Last Breath. I don't want to jump to any conclusion. It's a plus nothing. You get no pluses. It's a flat roll.
Oh, God.
Double 2s.
Okay. Fail. All right. Cleo, you had a strange experience when you died. You went to the underworld and there was nobody there running the show, and the ghosts were being let loose. Waz, you feel yourself being pulled up and out of your body in an astral projection kind of way. And you start to spiral and flip and flop and move through the torrent of blood until you are starting to spiral down into the crater. And your spirit is now racing towards the chasm between worlds. Dill, your turn.
I'm looking over at Waz, just screaming, no! Is he falling? Is he falling down?
You see the body fall, and
Okay.
there's this weird feeling you get because you are so in tune with magic that deals with life and death, but you do not see the spiritual projection of him leave. You just see his body start falling. There's a huge crystallized spear of blood through his chest, and then it liquefies and falls. Let me let my dog out. Hold that thought.
All right.
Get out of here, you crazy
Show's
man.
got more death than Hamlet.
No kidding. Second time Waz dies.
I'm good like that.
Can I
Dog
use
life, you get it. So the crystallized spear of blood just dissolves, and Waz falls into the blood and starts to float.
Can I use magic to heal his wound and like suck his soul back real quick?
Yeah, you can.
Ooh.
The underworld gate is fucked up right now, and the keeper of it is in a giant skeleton monster form in the real world. So how people are getting transported there is kind of up in the air, and you do have a window to try and reverse this thing as the gatekeeper is preoccupied. You will
Okay.
roll to use magic.
All right.
I think this is going to be heal.
Heal.
We're just going to have you heal. Cure wounds.
Okay. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is it plus
Alright.
wisdom?
Plus wisdom.
Do I have any advantages? Do I
There's
have
no advantage in this situation.
special? Okay.
Oh, you do add your wisdom modifier.
Yeah, that's 9 with the wisdom.
Okay. So it's still a partial success. You need to choose one of the things from the list under cast a spell.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna lose this spell after it's cast.
Oh my god. Okay, so Dill casts Cure Wounds for the last time during this boss battle.
Oh,
All right,
God.
guys.
She takes one of those spears herself to the shoulder, and it spins her around. When she lands, she sees Waz falling, and she just instinctually reaches out, blasts a burst of curative magic that tethers Waz's soul, and she just yanks it back into him. That's going to be 5 HP returned to you, Waz. And Dill, you
Okay.
feel your ability to cure wounds leave your mind. Cleo.
Yeah.
You see that the creature, though he rolled a full success, is now in kind of a cooldown period as he's starting to try and summon up magic again for another spell. But the blood in the water is starting to rise slower than before, and it's taking effort as it looks like the connective tissue burned a little from casting that first one.
Can I sneak and backstab? Is he distracted?
Yeah. He just blasted a spell and is now summoning magic.
I would
You
like
will
to
need to
use-
sneak, so roll it.
Okay.
I believe you get advantage.
Yeah. 11.
Yeah, you just Navy SEAL down into the blood and around to the back of the crater and slide down in. You will need to climb up the leg if you're going to try and backstab. So
Yep.
just give me a straight up dex. You're sneaking, so I'm going to give you advantage because I'm feeling generous and I just killed Waz.
Oh, 8.
You scramble up and you will be able to attack, but you can tell that it's going to drop your success down one because you are hanging on this. So roll to attack, hack and slash, but I'm going to be pulling your success level down 1.
Can I use my advantage from chat?
You can. That will cancel this out.
Okay.
Thank you, Merc Worky, for the hey listen and saving Cleo's ass right now.
Okay, so I'm not rolling an advantage, or that just canceled it out?
It cancels it out, so you're going to be actually having a chance to do some work here.
So just a
you are
straight-
rolling hack and slash. It's a straight strength roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not
an
great.
Advantage, so just 2 dice. Oh no. Three.
Okay. You're still going to roll your damage. Roll your backstab.
Wait, but I'm also doing fight dirty, which is gain advantage on your damage roll.
Oh, so you can roll your backstab damage and gain advantage on it. So you will
Roll my D8.
roll an extra dice and ditch the small one.
Seven.
Okay, that's pretty solid. You slip from your partial success to climb and just stab your dagger in and fall down this beast, cutting apart tendons of blood that's solidifying as you go. And you can see them whipping away and starting to make this thing crumble and fall. But in that process, it does just elbow you, dealing straight bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
It rolled a full success, so it's not going to be penalized. But it's only rolling a d6 for its bludgeon because they're on a bow. You're going to take 3 damage as it hits you on your way down and you fall into the blood.
Worth it.
It is stuttered in its attempt to cast a spell and starts to change gears. You can see what was going to be another weaponized wall of spears dissolve and start to try and cling to its body and reverse the damage that was just done. It's not an immediate thing that happens, but you can see that that is what is going on here.
Okay.
Wes, you feel your body slingshotted back, or your spirit slingshotted back into your body, and you have 5 HP, and you come to.
I am immediately going to look around the water near me to see if there's anything glowing, preferably Vico's shield.
Oh, roll discern realities. And I said water earlier. It's only blood.
It's red water. A lot of red water. That is wisdom.
Mhm.
That's a 9.
Okay. You are able to swim through. There are 2 glowing things that you can see about the same distance apart, and they do appear to be flowing up and out of the blood. They've just crested the crater. There is some form of strange debris, mirrored tombs coming up through these gravestones that, if you had time to examine them, would be the reverse version of gravestones that are in this cemetery. It seems as though the underworld is starting to leak through. And in that, there are glowing bits. Do you want to go to the one on your left or your right? Don't answer yet. I'm going to write these down so I don't cheat us.
Don't pick wrong, Waz.
I know.
As
Okay, left
you
or
got
right?
this. You got this.
Should we let chat decide?
Oh.
Ooh.
Left or right, chat? You got 10 seconds to vote in.
Left or
Mark,
right?
You have to tell me.
Flipping a coin. Okay. 3 for left. There hasn't been any mention of right.
Okay, left it is. You dive under the blood and grab a hold of what you hope is the shield and find the hilt of Vico's sword. And you rise up out of the blood holding this radiant, glowing blade.
Okay. I glance at it. It's almost blinding. I feel
The blood is
energized.
burning off of it.
Okay. Can I put it at the front of my staff and then do magic missile to launch it with?
Yeah,
The
of
missile.
course. This is a boss fight in the finale.
Okay.
Or do you want to use blood magic?
Yes.
Roll with advantage. You all watch as Waz rises out of the blood, pulls the spear, and just clang and points this thing. There's a wall of blood that starts to surge up and around and then spiral around this blade, getting tighter and tighter and tighter.
I get a 6, a 4, and a 1.
That's
Plus
going to be
intelligence.
10 plus intelligence.
Which is 2, so that's a 12.
All right, you will be rolling 2d8 for your blood magic. You rolled a full success. You will not be taking damage. And then you will be rolling 2d10 for a smite blow from Vico's glowing sword. Which
Wait, so
was
that's
the
a
last
2d8
thing.
plus a 2d10?
Yeah, this is the last thing Vico used to attack this creature. You see, as it's quickly trying to repair the wounds of its body falling apart from Cleo's trip down its back, its eyes, which are these big old red slimy orbs of blood, raise up and recognize the sword that struck it down. What's your damage?
Well, can I say something right before I launch this?
Of course.
Hey, I've got a bone to pick with you.
God damn it.
I'm sorry. A 14 on the 2d8, 2 7s, and then the 2d12, 7 and a 4, 11.
Total?
Oh, I can't math. 25.
Okay. You needed 17. How to quote the great Matt Mercer of Critical Role, Waz, how would you like to do this?
I mean, he'd probably be shifting and whatnot to adjust himself. And I'm almost thinking the Incredibles when they have the clothing at the end and the jetpack starts on it. So he's kind of hovering, slowly going forward, and then finally waits for that precise moment. We are worried. We're targeting the finger, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
My goal would be to go for this whole part of the wrist so that it dissipates. I could imagine the sword kind of spinning like perfectly, like the spiral of a football with these two missiles like orbiting around it, just going right to the hand.
Big old nasty size blood magic missiles orbiting this thing. He throws up the hand with the finger on the tip of his finger and catches the blade. It sticks the hand to his head. The hand explodes. The second that the little skeletal metal hand flies off, the skull fractures, the blood eyes erupt, and then there is just a chain of disgusting bags of blood as this thing starts to erupt. But before you guys are pasted with another wall of viscera, there is a jerk in the magic users of the party, and you feel all of the blood start rushing back into the crater. And then all of the ghosts which have been orbiting around start getting sucked into the crater. And everything is now pulling back and pulling in and roaring up the side of the hill until it just starts to funnel down and toilet bowl flush. The amount, it takes minutes of you guys holding steady. There seems to be no pull on any of you. And then it's over. You're all still wet, but there's no more blood on you. And that hole in the ground is now covered in debris. And you all stand there as the little skeletal hand lands on the ground at Cleo's feet, who had recently fallen into the crater.
Cleo, don't touch that.
I think we need to bury that thing somewhere very deep.
Don't you
You
want
need to smelt it.
Cleo, that's not a toy, girlfriend.
Can I have the metal at least? You can have the bones.
You need to smelt it or something.
Yeah, no, that's a hard no, honey.
Can it fit in the liver you have, or the kidney?
Yeah,
I don't. Do we still
Kidney
have?
got
we still have the
stolen.
kidney.
I would
guess
prob-
Vico got the kidney back.
Oh, but yeah,
No.
it's just or it's just.
I think the kidney's gone.
Damn it!
And the gem that was in it.
Damn it!
Gem got stolen. Sadly.
The
I
summoner behind you coughs and sits up and seems to be dazed and waiting for you all to decide what is the next best course of action. But there's no more blood here, though the place smells very strange. Those of you with arcane connection can feel that it is a place that has been drenched in a very powerful magic and will probably bear those consequences for a while. But the smoke is cleared, the ghosts are gone. You are in a quiet cemetery.
Ooh. Hey, Horace, you doing okay, buddy?
Great.
Yeah, he was pretty badly exhausted / wounded. I don't know if you can do any like healing magic on him.
You know what? All I got are my herbs. I mean, I'm happy to try to douse you with some of my herbs to take away your fatigue, but that's it.
You're able to old-fashioned country doctor Horace a little bit. It's not as effective as your healing spell. Mechanically, we're talking at like you give him a 2 HP, but narratively he feels great. A lot better than he did a second ago. And he stands up for the first time, kind of examining the ruin of his family's grave site, and just turns away and looks down the hill. And you can see, backed up for safety is the carriage you all took to get here, trotting back up. And Horace says, I think I'd like to go sit.
Go to sleep?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like right now, do you want us to carry you on the door?
Yeah. And he just kind of sits back. And you can see now that though Dill did something to ease his pain for his body, there's something else that just seems to be going on with him. Whatever was used to get him there, his body had been taken to that holding place, and it seems as though he has suffered some magical damage.
Magical whiplash.
Magical whiplash.
Did Vico's sword and shield also go down in the?
No, the other glowing object was his shield. You were trying to see whether or not you would pick up a sword or a shield. You are able to recover the shield as well. And the last time you guys saw these, they were simple weapons. Vico even had said that they had purchased them 2 days before this new job, or at least the shield, and that they were just made out of weapons. But whatever happened down there in those final moments with Vico and the necromancer, Vico's power seems to have left a definite impression on these. These would now be some pretty serious magical items, a sword and shield.
I mean, I would want to keep them in honor of my friend compared to like use. Yeah, I mean, I'd use them if I had to, but I would be taking them to honor him and always remember, and eventually probably tattoo his name on my forearm in the coming days. So
yeah, you can see as you pick them up and say some of this out loud and internalize the rest, the glow dims in a way that you can tell when you need these things, you will be able to activate them, but they do not need to blast radiant light at all times. They are a little bit more inconspicuous.
I'd never sleep. Yeah, I'd never be
Yeah,
able to sleep.
so you can feel them humming as though they have accepted this offer you've made, and they are now in your possession.
Can I offer the shield to Dill?
That's up to you. I think we should have a scene of that. Let's say you've all carried Horace down, loaded him into the carriage, and you and Dill close the door. Cleo goes around to the other side, and you have a moment here.
I kind of hold the shield out. I mean, it's how big is it? Like, does
It's
it
like a
cover the
kite
whole
shield.
body?
It's not a
Okay.
tower, like, so it would be, torso length.
Yeah, so it would be enough for me to kind of like, do a quick spin of it
Mhm.
in my hands and then say, I think Vico would probably want you to have this. He'd want you to feel protected all the time.
Wow. I don't know what to say. Thank you. You're the one that saved us. How many times now? I mean, thank you. I will remember him and honor him. And I like reach up and kiss him on the cheek.
I lower my head, blushing.
Well, we should get going. I mean, can't stand out here all day.
Yeah.
You did good. You did real good. I'm proud of you. Vico would have been proud of you too.
Thanks for bringing me back from the dead.
I always got your back.
You guys hop up into the carriage. Cleo's in there, and so is Horace. And the driver taps the horse and turns the thing around and heads back to town. And you look and you can see that as you are going, the market which you passed on the way here, which is full of glowing lanterns, you can see them one by one being extinguished for the evening as the city just relax. As the city goes to sleep and the nightlife winds down, it is a very peaceful night. The stars come out and you all make your way back up to the palace. There's just a little fanfare at your arrival because everyone's very busy and has been since the summoner went missing. But once it becomes clear that you are returning with him, Stellar rushes out and hugs her father, immediately casts several bam, bam, bam. Dill, you notice these are like some next level fucking cure wounds spells back to back to back to back, just with a wave of the hand and a wave of the staff, not even thinking about it. And you can see that Horace does get a little bit of color back and straighten up a little bit. But you're all standing close enough as, some of the guards are clapping and people are starting to pile out of the rooms. You can hear Horace say that whatever magic was being used to keep him in that place, the magic required to keep body and soul as one at the gates of death, took a serious toll on him. And he is not sure the extent of the consequences of it, but he can see immediately as all of the advisors are kind of huddled behind Stellar and all of the guards are at rapt attention in her presence. He asks her very kindly if she wouldn't mind keeping an eye on things for a little longer while he got some rest. And they head back up into the tower so that she can help him get comfortable. And all of you are left in relative silence to return to your rooms in the tower as well. and you find yourselves on the landing outside your dormitories, the three of you. Waz, you have your staff and your spellbook, and Vako's sword, which has been tucked into your belt. You'll need to find a scabbard for it. Dill, you have your staff and this new shield. Cleo, you are holding this skeletal metal hand. What do you guys want to do?
I want to thank you, Cleo, because had you not gotten on his back and hurt him that much, whatever he had waiting for us with his next spell or attack or whatever it was, he could have taken out all of us. So without that, without him turning around to try to fix himself.
Oh, well, yeah. I think it was such a collaborative effort. I don't think we could have done it without any of us. I mean, your move with the badass sword on wasn't firebolt, Eldritch. Nope, wasn't Eldritch. What was the spell?
My magic missile.
Your magic missile. That
Can
was,
you never say it like that to me ever again, though?
what?
Magic missile.
Your magic missile.
Oh,
And Dill's healing properties. I mean, I think we make a good team.
I think
Yeah.
so. Should we all go get matching tattoos?
Yeah,
No, with Vako's name.
Oh,
I'm in.
yeah.
I'll do it.
I'll do that.
You know, hey, Cleo,
Yeah.
I know that you're kind of on your own. You've been on your own for a while, but
Yeah.
hey, listen, you know, I don't have any siblings, but I sure think of you as my sister after all this. So how about we make a pact to like stand up for each other?
Do we get a super secret handshake or like some
Yeah.
kind of like symbol, something that
I like pull out of my pouch like some little strings so I can wrap one around my wrist and like wrap one around your wrist. They're like little green kind of braided things with like little crystals and things that I've like just kind of like braided and made.
Dill, roll to use magic.
All right.
That's where all my gems went.
Sorry. They're cute. 7, 8, 9.
While you're tying them, you can feel that connection you've established to the possibility of this kind of life force. And as you're tying them, you feel that you don't actually need to put a knot, as the fabric and the vine and the plant and the gem all just sort of grow together and connect these. And a flower, just a small little flower, blooms on yours, and a matching one blooms on Cleo's. And you can each feel this, it's not like a weight, but a presence, you know, and as you are closer, it gets stronger. But even as you, at the end of the night, move away from each other, you can just feel this lasting connection.
Could I have a conversation with the summoner?
Which one?
Whoever's in power.
Well, Horace will take the reins when he feels better. Stellar is currently in control. But you could speak to either of them.
Horace, I think.
Okay. You steal away and head upstairs. Horace has been set up in, Stellar's got a fucking like penthouse suite on the top 3 floors of this tower that you guys are installed in. And Horace has been set up in the bottom, and they've brought up a very large, comfortable bed and lots of pillows, and then also a lot of healing herbs, and there's things that are burning and things that are bubbling and things that are smell good and things that smell medicinal and bad, and there's water being drawn for bath, and Horace is laying in this bed. And he looks better than when you saw him last, but he does still have this lingering drain on him. But you are admitted. They try and talk you out of it at the door, and you can hear him yelling over that anything they need, let her in. And he lets you in.
Hey, Summoner Horse.
Cleo, I owe ya.
About that, I was wondering if it's possible to get some more of these coins in circulation so that we could potentially give them to other orphans.
I think that would be a small price to pay. Not only to help some of the folks in need, but to start to return the favor of your selflessness in saving my life.
I plan on opening an orphanage, and it could be something that I can just be in charge of, so I can make sure that, you know, they don't get abused or anything, but I would promise I'd only give them out to orphans.
I trust you. I got all kinds of people who handle the small details for these kinds of things, but I will make it a point to ensure that you have their ear and my blessing to do what you know is right.
I appreciate that. I'm suddenly feeling the urge to be really honest right now, and it feels weird. In the process of doing our duty, I may have taken a teeny tiny gem out of a book. Tiny. Was gonna return it. But it got swiped in the process. So I just want you to know, if it was missing, I will find it and bring it back.
I can imagine that, especially since there were people within our own organization working to undermine us. There was probably several things that went missing, but I trust that you'll be able to get them back.
Okay. Yes, I will. I promise. Oof. I'm working on living a more honest life. So, I will try to do that.
I have faith in you.
Okay, I've taken up enough of your time. You rest up.
Thank you, Cleo. You too.
And I exit.
You are escorted out of the room and the door is closed behind you. Are y'all going to get tattoos tonight?
I think the marketplace had closed with all that tiny little scare you gave us with all the lamp lights going out.
Wouldn't I know a guy? I'd know a guy.
Let's say Cleo knows plenty of people.
Yeah.
Let's say next morning, you are all standing in front of the dais in the throne room, as Stellar is seated in her usual spot in the smaller throne on the right. Her father's seat is still empty. Her advisors are an appropriate amount of space away to give you some privacy. And the three of you stand there in front of her, a little bleary-eyed, a little hungover, and all three of you with bandages over matching tattoos. And Stellar says, well, this kingdom owes you a debt of gratitude. And I, not only as acting summoner, but a daughter, owe you debt of gratitude. Thank you. Thank you 1,000 times. Thank you. What you've done was impossible, and I will unlikely be able to repay you adequately, though I will try.
The door that blew up in this room leading to the outside, how much space outside is it? Like, would you be open to erecting a statue of the Co guarding the entrance? But it would be spaced out a little further down the path.
You're speaking of the wall that was destroyed in the initial attack? I think that there would be plenty of space to erect a statue of Leco, to keep watch over an amphitheater where our people come to celebrate any number of things. I must ask, I realize your first 2 days on the job were quite stressful. Will you be willing to stay on as my your talents are so vast. I realize that to simply call you guards would be diminishing of your skill, and what I would be looking for would be trusted associates who would handle not only my safety, but the safety of our ideals and our way of life.
I'd be willing to stay if you be willing to teach me some of that magic. And also, if I could use your laboratory, I think it's still standing.
I would be more than happy to teach you, Dill, though I am not as skilled as my father. I will personally ask him to invite you to my training sessions so that you might learn his ways as well.
Ah, nice. Thanks, Stellar. I did have one more question. Now, do you know what happened to Chamberlain? Have you seen him? And also, have you seen his twin brother?
So, Hambeline has returned from the message that you sent him to deliver. Upon investigating his twins' whereabouts, he discovered a mess of gore in one of the secret passages leading away from the dungeon laboratory and pleaded for me to scry. We feared the worst, and it does appear after magically investigating it that Chamberlain popped like a water balloon in that hallway downstairs. Hambeline is crushed with guilt, but recognizes his twin was an ally of the empty grave.
Bummer. Okay.
Big bummer.
I'm really sorry about that whole thing. I'm not quite sure if Waz and I were like part of that. I doubt it. But listen, I gotta come clean. Like, we went up to the black grave gate thing, and I killed I think his name was Jasper. Listen, he was not the sharpest knife in the collection of knives, okay? And I feel really bad about it, and I'd like to find his any of his remaining family, and I would like to somehow pay them. any money that you are willing to pay me.
I think that we can arrange for someone to check the employment history of our royal cemetery and track down this Jasper's kin. And that could be arranged.
All right, thank you.
Feel in my pocket, and I'm like, ugh. And then I take out his simple gold band and his ornate ring, and I walk over to Dill, and I'm like, here, I'm sure this is worth money. You can pay them with this. Keep your own money.
Thanks, Cleo. That's really sweet of you. I'm proud of you, sister. I like put it in my pouch.
As Cleo steps over to do this with Dill, Stellar does put a hand on Waz's shoulder and lead Waz a few steps away to have a quiet word. You step down the dais and actually are standing now in front of the newly warded pillar around the spellbook, the heirloom spellbook. And Stellar says, Wazlov, I feel we need to exchange words.
I plan in the future to only charm you with my personality. Never having to use my staff again when it comes to that.
I can see now that you have completed this mission and put yourself at great personal risk to do so, that you were only seeking extremely stupidly to work towards that goal. Doing something that I can assure you, you will never try again, or I will destroy you. But that is not why I've asked you to share private words. My suspicions about you being a traitor, I think, were false. Or you've proven them to be. However, my father told me that, though it is secondhand, Cleo informed him you would be using blood magic to create a portal between worlds. You understand how fucking crazy that sounds, right?
Absolutely.
You used blood magic to summon enough power to open a portal between this land and the land of the dead. That is exactly the kind of thing that the leadership of the empty grave was attempting to do and failing. And yet you are now an extremely competent blood magician. You can see why I might find this well,
Troubling.
yes.
If I don't know if I could ever suppress this now, all this knowledge that I know. I can promise you that I would always try to protect this kingdom. But if you feel you would have to watch me every day, or you find yourself waiting for the day when I make a tragic mistake, I understand if I would need to move on from your employ.
Do you know why blood magic is so dangerous?
Refresh my memory.
Whereas if I was worried about you making a mistake, I'd have far less to worry about. Mistakes teach lessons. if you were to use blood magic and suck the life from your friend Dill and kill her in order to empower yourself, someone like you, who I can recognize has a kind disposition, a soft heart, and who cares about this person, I can imagine that would have an impact on your desire to use blood magic. It's not the mistakes that worry me, Waz. It's the successes, great and small, which continue to convince you, as they do every wizard who dips their toe into blood magic, that it is safe, that it is viable, that it is a solution to any problem. Every time you use blood magic and it goes well, you believe you have greater control over it. But it is a slippery slope, and it only takes one time for you to lose control. Blood magic relies on the power of life transitioning to death. Every time you tap into that, you are opening yourself up and everyone around you and this very plane of existence. If you are powerful enough to open a portal to the land of the dead, you are opening the door for death to get a foothold here and to change your mind about why you should use this magic and why it is important and why it is worth all of the risks associated with it, because it is a fountain of knowledge and power. And soon you will be painting a skull on your face, and you will be choosing what's right for the people here because you have the knowledge and the means to use it. Do you understand?
In your family's spell book, is there any way to remove just that knowledge from me?
No. That would be something you could use blood magic for, to erase the memories of a person and risk the repercussions of what that would do to reach into someone's mind and selectively pluck out remembrances. That is something blood magic could be used for, but not something I would tamper with. Spells like that are incredibly dangerous because most often the victim will live and they will suffer, and then we will be forced to either help them or put them down. You will be tempted every day for the rest of your life, Waz. You have felt the power of blood magic, and you know how easy it is to obtain, for there is blood in every face, and every heart, and every friend, and every lover, and every enemy that you will ever meet. And every time you reach out to cast a spell, you will feel the call of a greater power waiting to be embraced. You will need to live the life of a recovering addict and summon the strength to resist the temptation. Because there are two ways to handle a blood mage in this kingdom. Those who we do not fear, we exile. And those who we do fear, we erase.
I understand.
Are you willing to live a life free from the power, if not free from the temptation?
Knowing what I've done, knowing that it would always be calling me, would you trust me to stay here?
I would. I believe that people deserve a chance. But we will not tolerate the use of blood magic in this kingdom. There will be no warning.
I understand.
Good. You deserve to live, Waz, and you deserve to have friends and lovers and family. And you should not put those people at risk. Because without them, no power is worthwhile. No feat is worth obtaining. So I'm glad to hear that, Waz. If you try to charm me again, I will fucking atomize you. We cool?
We cool.
Okay. Stellar turns around and heads back to the throne, but before she gets there, she says, "Oh, that was a yes from all of you? About staying on?"
Yes.
I can, but I'm gonna need a go-between between the orphanage I'm going to be opening in here, and I was wondering if I could hire Ham Boleyn and give him a raise.
My father floated your idea past me. I think it is a wonderful endeavor, and we would be more than happy to assist you so that you could remain here to help us protect not only me, but this palace.
Okay, then that's a yes.
And Dill, assuming we are able to help you learn more about preserving life and bettering it for others, you too would stay?
Yeah, I'll stick around. Waz, you gonna stay?
Won't be able to get rid of me.
That's a deal.
Excellent.
A
There
deal?
is-
A deal.
God damn it, Waz, you are this close.
A deal.
There is a pressing matter. It seems that we have something that's gone missing.
I didn't do it.
At
Yo.
Cleo's word, we slide transition to a smooth stone place. There is smoke curling through frame, and we can see both halves of the summoner's staff lying near the crack in the crater and the cemetery at that place between worlds. A singed robe and a hand with broken fingers that have been taped together reaches in and picks up the side of the staff with the big red jewel. The camera pans back and we see a far worse for the wearer, disheveled, ripped robed, smeared paint, skull-faced necromancer raise a stump of an arm into frame and then use the summoner's broken staff to conjure a bloody hand which crystallizes into sharp claws. And they flex that before looking right into camera. Blackout. The end. How long's the Coe been a skeleton?
Woo! Hmm?
We did it, guys. You saved the universe.
Yay!
This week.
Fantastic.
I was gonna like pull back the bandage on the tattoo to peek at it and realize that the tattoo artist spelled Vico's name VIC, ho.
On all of us. Oh God.
Yeah, we were too drunk to notice.
That's your post-credits Marvel
Oh.
scene.
Dang it.
Oh God, that would be great.
Well, thanks, guys. That was really great. I'm glad that we got to just have one of these little short adventures and see it from beginning through to the end. I didn't have any plans. I had an idea for a start, but that story was all you. You know, you made every one of those moments possible. It was incredible. I loved playing this game with you.
Oh,
Thank you. This was a blast.
Yeah, it was so fun. Thanks, Jesse, for you created the foundation though. You know?
Mhm.
No, Jesse, you're an amazing storyteller.
Mhm.
Holy
And
cow.
I bore myself, so
Wow, you-
save the compliments.
So many sweet moments.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I think we've got questions from chat
Yay.
in the Discord that Andy is going to ask.
Ooh, I get to ask each person one of the questions
Sweet.
as we go through. I want to start with Jesse.
Okay.
Jesse, what are 3 films you could watch for the rest of your life and never get bored of?
The Matrix Reloaded.
Is that the middle one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't want anybody talking shit about it in my presence. Matrix Reloaded. Probably French Dispatch. I know it's a new one, but it really hit hard for me. Loved it. And then I think I could probably say I don't know, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah.
Okay,
Very nice.
that's my answer.
Yeah.
I like it. Let's see. Lisa Levan,
Yeah.
do you collect anything?
Yes, I collect rocks.
Avocados and tomatoes. You collect
Rocks.
those.
So usually when I go to a beach or something, I'll collect rocks, and then the other thing that actually my sister got me started on is collecting like little acorns and little tiny things like that. I also collect sweaters. It's kind of a cool thing.
I mean, that's pretty great.
Sweaters. Yeah.
Coronado, pet
Yeah.
peeves. And don't say streaming with me. Okay.
Pet peeves?
Yes. What do you hate about your new cat, really? Pet peeves. Let's
Oh,
go.
I love my new cat. I mean, I have a couple. Like, probably the big one is which is big and dumb, is just, it really bugs me if someone's not a good listener, especially if I've listened to them and then I try to contribute to the conversation and someone's not listening to me. I think as I got older, my tolerance for that has gotten really small.
Sorry,
So
what did you
that's
say?
a big one. Shut up.
Rude.
And I think a small one. Okay, this is really weird. I have that thing where if people chew with their mouth open, it aggravates me, but I love the ASMR eating on TikTok. It makes no sense, 0 sense. And it's very specific stuff. It's like candy. The people who eat candy on TikTok, I freaking love it. But if I'm having dinner with is smacking while we're eating, it'll just bug me. So
What about iceberg lettuce? Is that good? Does that sound good to you, or does it?
I don't know.
Because it can be
The
crunchy, but then
crunching
become
of a food is good. I think it's the smacking that I don't like. I think that's what the difference is. But the
Lip
crunch
smacking.
of a food is really great. It doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. And the ASMR is all new to me because I'm not really familiar with it. And I was like, what the hell is this? And why do I like it?
Jesse, favorite season and why? Is all right? Murky Worky. It says favorite season. Is this a Void Jumpers?
Oh, probably.
Oh, interesting. My favorite, I'm just gonna go with that because I think that's great. It's a toss-up for me between fire and water. I feel like fire is where we really started to figure out what the show was, and then water is where we just went crazy.
Those were my favorite too. They were
Yeah.
so fun.
Oh, he wanted to know time of year. So
Yeah, I figured. Look. When you first asked, I figured that was the question. So much less interesting.
no, I liked that we got. So, what are you liking winter right now?
Fuck no. I like summer.
Mm,
Because
especially
Seattle,
around here. Yeah.
it's very, I can play D&D on my deck outside.
Lovely.
All right. Levan, if you could play any other character or NPC on the show, who would it be?
Okay, wait. On this show?
Yeah.
And wait, did you say NPC?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, it's
Oh.
it's Shambling. It's easy. It's Shambling.
It's gotta be if I could combine both, be Hambeline and Shambeline, whatever. Is it Ein or in? Is it
Does it
Shambeline?
matter? Fuck those
It's
guys.
like Carolyn and Caroline. It's
'Cause-
same
'cause
thing. Yeah.
I love how spicy Hambeline is. And then Shambelin is just like, he's kind of quirky, but also just always so offended. So hoity.
Hoity-toity.
Hoity-toity.
I would cast
And Jesse,
Eller.
Jesse, you played them both brilliantly. Thank you for creating them.
Yeah. Accidental character, like they were the ones I never wrote down. I never did anything. That just was like I needed a character, and then that's what always happens.
All right. Coronado,
Yeah.
if you could have one book or series be turned into a movie or a TV show, what would it be and which character would you want to play? And it cannot be a sequel to Twin Peaks or Z Nation. Go.
Oh, yeah. Gosh. I'm reading all of these Ruth Ware books right now, and they're all like Agatha Christie light. And I'm
Ooh.
really digging them. But I don't know if there's any. I don't know if there's any characters that I would like to play. That's hard. Trying to think what else I've read this year. I've just really read these books.
What about any characters in your chemistry book?
Oh,
Was that last year? What classes did you
that was
take?
biology, and I'm in psychology right now, and I don't want to play any of that stuff.
No?
I'm trying to think if there's like a good book series that I've read that has not been turned into, because everything gets turned into it. Like I was reading don't judge me, but I read all of the Court of Thorn and Roses, and that's getting turned into a Hulu show. I don't know how they're going to get away with it because it's pretty smutty. And there's lots of good characters for that, but I don't want to play any of them.
So you want to direct or write?
Yes, I would direct.
Ooh.
I would direct that show, but that's getting turned into it right now. So, I think that's it. Oh, Jesse recommended a really good book. What was that sci-fi book?
The one about the spiders?
No, about the woman that was like, and they go to the planet and they're like all competing. All the different planets are competing. You recommended it. I read it. A bunch of people in chat read it.
Intergalactic Hunger Games?
Are you talking about Gideon the Ninth?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Turn that into it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Any of the Locked Tomb series. The third one just came out this year. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, that's dope. And
that'd be cool.
It's been a while since I read that.
Whoever's making the
Gideon was the lead, right?
Yeah. Whoever.
I like the other girl.
Harrow?
Yes. I
I'm
would like to
also
play
a Harrow main myself.
Yes, I would like to play Harrow.
Whoever's
There we
making
go.
the great would need to make the Locked Tomb series into a show. It would be incredible. All right, next question.
This is going to be the last one, and maybe everyone should answer. What's your top 3 picks from one of those filled chocolate assortment hearts?
Everybody gets one.
Like a
All four
Whitman's.
of us.
Like a
Start
Whitman's.
with Andy.
I like if it's the chocolate covered cherry, but the liquid inside, if it's like, I don't want to chase it, I don't want to bite into it and then have it like go everywhere. So I usually just got to drop that in, but it's nice because there's solid. There's also mush from the cherry itself. And then this liquid, you get 3 states. And then if I have too much, I get gas after. So it's kind of I cover the whole like
The whole
physical
matter spectrum.
scientific world. Yes. With one piece of chocolate.
Coronado?
Yes.
Me, I don't know if this is in there, but I really like the chocolates that are the hazelnut nougat. It's like
Mm.
chocolate with the hazelnut nougat. It's like always delicious. I used to be like an almond roca person, and then I switched over to that. So that like hazelnut chocolatey one. That's my favorite.
Levan?
I've got two. I'll take one with a caramel in the middle,
Mhm.
and then also like the dark chocolate with the chocolate like ganache in the middle, and then like covered with like chocolate sprinkles. The best.
Me, coconut. Everybody fucking hates it too, so I could
I
just
love
get
coconut.
all the coconut.
That's
I
like,
never liked
is
coconut
it
my whole
almond
life.
joy and mounds?
Yeah.
That's delicious.
Yeah, I agree. Everybody hates them. All right, that's it. Lisa, get us out of here.
Thank you everybody for hanging out. Special thank you to the donations that came in today. I think it was Merck.
Yeah, Merck. 2 donations from Merck.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
And
you,
to
Merck.
everybody that's donated. We just appreciate you so much. Hopefully we'll be formulating some more of these adventures on the horizon next year. Maybe even get in person if we can get our act together and do like a studio session. I don't know. Possibly. We're
That'd be
playing
cool.
around with it. And speaking of studio, thank you, Mark, for running the tech from the studio.
Mark, you are the
Mark.
glue. We love you. We're nothing without you.
No, and he drives there. He's not even from the comfort of his own home. So thank you so much, Mark. We appreciate you so much. Maybe
You're
we'll get Mark
awesome.
in one of these
You're
shows
awesome,
too.
Mark.
And thank you to Zombie Orpheus for hosting us. We enjoy being here so much. And I think that's all. My brain's done. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. This was a
Thank you.
great little arc. I had the best time.
So fun. Till next time.
Till next time, fuckers. Peace out.